Okay, welcome back to the channel. Today's review is actually a pretty unique one. We are reviewing a shaft and a training aid at the same time for the first time because they are the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fujikura made a practice shaft.
Part of our series on sort of practice devices that can help people, you know, over the winter,
Yeah.
something that can maybe teach you something in your swing that you struggle with. And I think this is a pretty unique thing for a shaft manufacturer to actually come up with a truly premium product.
Yes.
That is designed purely for practice.
What I like most about it is you're going to be able to put your own grip, your own iron head of your choosing, bend it the way you want, do all that stuff. We've kind of done that here. We've used a PXG head from last year just to build one up.
Yep.
I've seen training aids before with a very flexible shaft, but they come as a total unit.
Yeah.
So there's a generic, training aid head, which may feel a bit strange compared to a real club.
For sure.
There's a random grip on there that isn't yours. So I think this is potentially a bit more expensive. Obviously, it's 120 bucks just for the shaft.
Yeah.
So a complete club is probably around that price. Maybe it's more expensive, but I think this is a better application of the idea, personally.
And we've all seen and played with people who have that kind of aggressive, kind of really rush that backswing and just kind of fire the club away. I mean, the rates at which the handle moves, the head moves later, then the head races in front of the handle, and you start down, and that's that sequence of push and pull that goes on the whole way down when you're sort of excessively deflecting the shaft.
Very true.
Will really teach you to stop doing that, and that it's not a good thing for your swing.
Tempo and sequencing trainer is kind of the way they've framed it.
Yeah.
Let's get you to hit a few shots with it.
Okay.
Like just kind of get your live, feedback about how it feels when you're swinging it.
Yeah.
We'll switch back and forth to your own iron a few times, and let's just try to pick apart what exactly it's doing for you.
Okay.
I can see it flexing at the top of your swing.
Yeah, I could feel it. I could really, in transition,
You look like you were
that
swinging
load
a
bunch.
long driver 150 miles an hour.
And I'm not making an effort to swing hard. I'm not making an effort to swing slow. This is just a standard swing for me.
So for you, you felt so much loading there at the top. Let's talk about that really quick. If you are very hard and quick in transition, you are going to feel that 10 times more. And that should help you get a little bit more even and deliberate in your transition and be more consistent. Is that kind of where we're going with this?
Exactly. I think from a timing perspective, and we spoke about it a lot in the past, light and stiff is kind of the enemy of tempo.
Yes.
A little heavier and a little softer will give you sensations to work with, and often that's how we as humans, we can react off of sensations. When we lack those sensations, it can be very difficult for us to create proper timing.
That's a great point. So it comes in two different models. That's the plus model, it's 102 grams.
102 grams versus 70.
70.5, so 70 grams. So depending on the weight category that you play, you play irons that are 120 grams or so.
Yeah.
So that one makes perfect sense for you because it's close. Someone who maybe plays 90 gram iron shafts or 80 gram iron shafts, get the 70 gram model.
Right. And I think, people ask, well, why isn't there a 120 gram version? You're probably not meant to swing it very quickly.
No, I don't think it's necessary. I agree.
I think you're supposed to.
200 CPM is what you're swinging right now.
Right.
It's not meant to be hammered.
Yeah,
Interesting.
same with that one.
Very interesting.
Okay.
Just I wouldn't even think too much about it. I think the idea of it is you just make swings that allow you to square the face up with that shaft. So what do you have to do to start the ball on line? Interesting.
Okay.
What did you feel different there?
Just trying to kind of change my tempo a little bit, so over-corrected it. So the idea will be that you kind of find the balance in the middle.
I was just going to say that. If you've just found both extremes. Very nice.
It was better.
So 2 or 3 before that went a little left and right. What did that one feel like? Because that was really square, really good delivery.
Can you go to the previous few speeds?
Of course.
I felt like that one, I thought was swinging at the same speed, and then when I looked up, it wasn't. It was quicker.
I'm with you. Oh, it was definitely 3 miles an hour faster.
Yeah.
And 2 than the last 3 or 4.
Okay.
So did you feel same effort but more speed came out?
Yeah, I really, that was way quicker, but I wasn't trying to swing quicker, but that was where I found the middle ground. So let me see if I can.
Yeah, keep going. That looked so much better. So I noticed very obviously that your transition speed was much slower. So the overall pace of your swing, not totally different, but the club was up here a little bit longer than the one prior. Okay, well, just swing away with yours. That's your own built-up iron. I'm just curious what reaction that gives you after you get back to it. A great looking swing. Good swing. Just the start lines on these shots so far are outrageously straight.
Yeah,
They're just
and
right
similar.
down the pipe.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. How do those strikes feel? That sounded really good.
Yeah, good.
So are you perceiving anything to do with your tempo? Or are you just feeling good sequencing? Because it doesn't necessarily, tempo means, I think, a lot of different things.
Yeah.
To me, sequencing is the term and the concept that matters when it comes to hitting better shots.
Yeah, definitely. 100%. As someone who probably doesn't suffer from too much of a rush, certainly not a rush, I could probably go faster in the backswing.
True.
You know, I could maybe even use the shaft to try and create a little bit of that additional flex on the way up.
So if you felt the shaft actually wiggle a bit in your backswing, that means you're moving it with a little bit more pace. So it's a good point. So if this training aid appeals to you, don't just say, well, I'm not fast.
Yeah.
If you're slow in your perception, maybe that would help you get a little bit of pace to it.
But yeah, going back to my club, it feels really easy to hit mine straight after swinging that.
That's great.
Super easy.
I mean, we wanted to keep this video fairly, I use the term raw. I mean, obviously we're editing this, but your reaction to it has been pretty pure, and mine as well. I do think it's a viable option. It seems to work quite well for a sequencing tool. Now, is it a replacement for this, that, and the other? Probably not. But it's a great standalone tempo trainer. Probably as good as anything we've seen.
Yeah, I think it's just something that sits on your garage wall, practice, you know, in your practice bag, whatever it may be. Maybe just starting out with a few good ones just at the start the round with the practice.
That's
plus,
a good point. A good warm-up club.
Just something to kind of, you know, dial in that tempo. You know, we all strive for that sort of early on in the round, and you're just trying to achieve that nice balance at the start of the round and sets you off for the day.
If you only had 5-10 swings to make on the range, 5 with this, 5 with your own club, I mean, you've stood up and hit 4 laser beam 7-irons or whatever I've given you. They've just been right down the pipe.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting,
there's been some different strikes amongst them, but it definitely has you know, really narrowed in that dispersion. Yeah.
Face control.
Good.
Would be quite good, obviously, based on the fact that you're starting them so straight. Probably helping your face control. Yeah.
I mean, dynamically, we wondered whether, you know, the droop element, excessive droop element, would be a problem.
Yeah, true enough.
I mean, it's different. It's definitely different.
It's an odd sensation, but again, it's not meant to be played with.
Yeah.
It's not like autoflex that we're playing with it. This is purely for training, and then you move back to your own club and go play golf.
No, it's pretty good. Okay, tagging in.
Should we switch in?
Come on in, beginner. So, it's one thing me doing this. Somebody who probably I have a reasonable enough tempo that it's not going to change my game an awful lot.
No, you have good tempo for sure.
Not too bad, and I think this is something where we're going to question: is this a training aid that allows you to establish tempo?
Good point.
You know, not just you know, learn how to have a different tempo, develop what tempo actually is.
Because I said to you off camera, starting as the right-handed golfer, trying it offhand, I have no tempo.
Yeah.
My tempo doesn't exist. So not only do I not really know how to feel good tempo yet, I'm not producing on a shot-to-shot basis. So it would be interesting to see if this is your first kind of tempo exercise, how beneficial can that be in your development? Because learning the game with good sequencing is way easier than learning it without. Way easier.
100%. Okay,
well, let me see.
Let's see a few little openers here. There's the Blois draw.
Oh yes, training club approved. It's I'm glad we're doing this because I'm only swinging 78 miles an hour with a 6-iron. Doesn't feel too soft.
Interesting.
Feels soft.
Yeah, but you're not.
But do you know what's interesting?
Loading.
I wonder if someone who swings 78 has ever really felt the loading process of a shaft. It's possible that they haven't.
I think that's very possible.
So that being said, this might give this swing speed range the idea of loading and unloading, just as a concept.
Yeah.
Interesting. So when you were, let me remind myself, when you hit a few pushes, were the pushes fast in transition?
Yeah, I think they were.
And a little bit more time in transition helped you get the face a bit more square? Okay. Well, why don't I try that?
Remember that kind of concept last week we were talking about with G-Box, where kind of right elbow, right hip come, or in this case, right elbow, right hip come through together? really feel like they're kind of come through as one.
Right.
So it's not that the handle's really leading too much aggressively or you're throwing the head.
Just that they're together.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, much better. That allowed me to start
That
the
looked
ball.
nice, Matty boy.
Not bad, eh?
It looked really nice.
That was pretty easy to adjust. One thing I'm noticing, I think maybe 4 or 5 swings in, you said something interesting where the good sequence swing you made felt like you produced more power with less effort,
Yeah.
or that you just produced or pushed on the downswing at the right spot. That's what that one felt like. I felt like I added speed, but I didn't add it here.
Yeah.
I felt it more like there.
Right.
So it helped me perceive that a bit better.
Okay.
Let's hit a couple of like a regular.
Yeah, jump into the
Anything
regular
else? What do you got?
one. We got, is mine there?
Well, yours is there. You want to give
Yeah.
me something easier to hit?
Yeah.
Oh,
Nice and stiff.
are you out of blades?
Look at that easy thing.
Just basically just try to make a swing.
Yeah,
Don't think too much about it.
same thing.
Okay, that's no joke. That is no joke. Nice.
Nice, Matty
Yeah.
boy. That's lovely.
Very interesting. Yeah, it's after using that, training aid is definitely some of the highest and straightest 6 irons I've hit while trying to hit right-handed. Usually, the best I can do is kind of a low 160-yard hook.
Yeah.
That was definitely helping me get my sequencing a little better where I wasn't just immediately dropping it behind me. And I think it was also helping me as a newer player, right-handed, produce a bit of speed the correct way.
Yeah.
Because anytime I tried to produce speed from the top, it was the worst shots were those. When I tried to push on it, I was scuffing the ground and missing the ball.
Yeah.
So if I had spent $120 as a newer player, I'd be happy with that.
Yeah.
I'd use that a lot on the range.
To work in your tempo and stuff. I mean, I think there's lots of training aids out there. Orange Whip. There's things like that kind of teach people, better tempo and sequence when you're a little out of sync. But I think there's one thing making a swing that has intent to create better tempo, another hitting a shot
Very true.
that creates better tempo, because one is what you actually do and one is what you intend to do. Those are different.
I totally agree. I think it's easier to apply because you are hitting balls.
Yeah.
Like you are still hitting a shot. Does this club and your club feel the same? Obviously not.
No.
But they're not. It's not swinging a weighted ball and then a golf club. So you're right. It's a more practical application of it. That's why I think it was easy to get some results for both of us so
Agreed.
quick.
Guys, I mean, I think what I would say is it's going to be up to yourselves to test this and see whether there's value in it. We think there is from a training perspective.
Yes.
Something that allows you to maybe expose some flaws, and then once you get back to your own club, you actually start to have trained a more in-sync golf swing. But I think it's each to their own with this thing.
Definitely. More to come. I want to get another one and put one in my bag for warm-ups too.
Yeah.
I think you'll probably mess around with it too. So probably look for updates from us
Yeah.
on the lives in the next few weeks, and I think we'll chat about it a bit more.
And we maybe might look for a sweet spot in terms of what club would be good. So we had it, kind of
In the 7-iron, but we can do down to it would be good to
you
try
can
the
go down
wedge.
to a wedge.
Maybe we build up a little wedge to talk
Yeah.
about wedge play. That
Yeah.
might be a good follow-up.
Something in there just to see if that's maybe a better run. Because I think you look down, you see a certain amount of loft, you see a
Yes.
certain head design. We're trying to hit it 175, 180 yards.
Absolutely.
That's kind of what you're supposed to do with that 7.
Definitely. Yeah, it's a longer shot. I think to train the tempo and motion would be easier with more loft in your hand.
Okay.
So we'll do that next time.
Cool. Okay, guys, more to come from the Training Aid series. I think there are some great training tools that we're showing you guys. First week we had a look at Smart Ball, we
That's
had
right.
the G-Box. Now we're looking at the practice shaft from Fujikura. So all these things, added to your arsenal, to your practice routine. I think they all have their own place, Matty.
Yeah, I'm glad we're building kind of a nice little suite of recommended training aids, and I think depending on what swing issues you have, hopefully you'll have something we can just recommend for that person all the time.
Guys, let us know if you've tried anything like this. Is this something that you're interested in? Again, want to hear your thoughts. Is tempo something you guys struggle with? And if it is, I really would advise, $120, take it to a club build to put it in an old club you have in the garage. I think it's a pretty good investment and at a pretty low cost.
Yeah.
Okay, stay tuned for more. We'll see you again soon.